Hello and welcome to Rappler Talk Entertainment. I'm Giselle Barrientos. Today we have here in the Rappler newsroom singer-songwriter and actor James Reid, who just released a new single called Hurt Me Too. James, welcome to the Rappler newsroom. I hear it's your first time
Giselle?
here.
Yes, it is. It's my first time.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. It's a cool office.
Thank you so
Hopefully
much.
I can get my signature on the wall too.
Absolutely, that's definitely gonna happen, yeah. Okay, so let's dive right into your new single, which is called Hurt Me Too. You released this latest single and right from the get-go, it's really separate from all of your other releases. You know, it's more of an emotional ballad. It's all about heartbreak and, you know, the pain of losing somebody. So can you expound more on the story behind the song and what message do you want your listeners to pick up from it?
Okay, there's a lot there. So
Yes.
I'll break it down. Yeah, Hurt Me Too is very different, as I'm sure everyone noticed immediately. It's a very new sound for me. For this year, I've partnered up with Sony Music to create this EP. And it's a different direction I wanted to take, which is much more raw, much more organic. And I really wanted to focus on me as a songwriter, just me and the music. Which is why for this song, Hurt Me Too, the original version actually was like very pop, like electronic. And it's hard to imagine, but it was. And then we stripped it back. We took out everything, just supported the lyrics with piano because we really wanted people to hear the storytelling, and that's what we really wanted to focus on for this EP. So it's really going to set the tone for the rest of the songs that are going to come out.
Yeah, actually, when I looked at your previous work before, it has more of a fantasy feel. There's like a fantasy of a story, and this one's really super stripped back, both visually and sonically, which is really cool.
Actually, that's true. I would write a lot about kind of more like escapism and, you know, really pushing like positivity and things like that.
Yeah.
This one, I had a different approach. It was really digging into the more painful areas of my life, which I preferred to avoid previously. I think being in show business for so long, it kind of made me want to like numb that side of me because you know, I don't want to give people too much. You know, for so long I didn't have any privacy, so with my music I tried to avoid that stuff. But tapping into that side of my writing, I think really unlocked a whole new side for me, which is what I'm excited for people to hear with this upcoming EP.
Absolutely, it's like a new flavor.
Yes,
I would say. Yeah. So you're one of the few celebrities in the industry who've been very vocal, you know, in terms of saying that you'd like to pursue music more. You know, your career has definitely evolved from what it first was maybe around 14 years ago, and you've been doing this in the previous years up until now. So can you just take us back to how your passion for music started? You know, what got you into singing and what are your influences? Yeah.
I started singing when I was a kid, actually. Not too much though, because I was a super shy kid. I started playing like guitar. I think I was playing like Jack Johnson songs or John Mayer or something.
Cool.
And it wasn't until I went into the PBB house when I was like 17. That was the first time I actually sang like in front of people. And I wasn't sure if people were just if people were messing with me, but they told me that I could really sing. So after I came out of the show, I did a lot of tours. I did a lot of everything with the other housemates, and I had to do something. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna try singing. So my career with music is really backwards if you think about it, because my first time performing and my first time learning how to sing was on a stage in front of thousands of people.
That's true.
And that's me learning to sing and figure out my sound. So over time, I really fell in love with music. I started writing my own songs. I started producing my own music. I started working with other people. I started releasing my own projects, actually. And then it led me to starting my own music label. So it was a very backwards approach to getting into music, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny to think, you know, or maybe like imagine you playing a John Mayer song super young.
Yeah.
It's really
like 13 years
emotional.
old. Yeah.
I guess that's a cool like full circle then that now you're going to more raw, vulnerable music.
Actually, yes. With these songs that I've been making, I feel like it's more me than it's ever been. I think around 4 years ago, when I decided to take a break from acting and really focus on the music, focus on the music label, I experimented a lot trying to figure out. I think the journey of an artist is really trying to discover yourself and understand your story, and then how to turn your experience into something that people can connect with, or can relate to, or can mean something to them. And so I experimented a lot. We just talked earlier about going to LA.
Yeah.
I was there for like 8 months. I learned so much there. I've learned so much with working a lot of local artists, and I've come back to this sound, which is very like organic, very raw, focusing on the core of me as an artist. And I've incorporated a lot of Tagalog tracks, actually.
Cool.
So this is my first time actually writing in Tagalog. So I'm super excited to be able to share these songs with the fans.
Amazing. Right. So this song, Hurt Me Too, is in collaboration with one of the LA artists that you met, which is Seth Reger. Can you walk us through how your working relationship started?
Seth Reger, it was actually one of the first sessions I had when I went to LA, and this was like 2021, was it? Early 2022? Early 2022, I think.
Early 2022.
Yeah, around February or April or something. He was one of the first artists I worked with. This was at the Stereotype Studio. They're world-renowned producers. They produce for Bruno Mars, like the 24K Magic type stuff. And he was the first artist I met. It was a different process.
Right.
We sat down and he was like, "What haven't you done yet?" I said, "Well, I like focusing on more positive, happy songs." And he's like, "So let's do a heartbreak song." He was really testing me.
Right out the gate.
Right out the gate. And he said, "You don't have one yet, so let's do it." And we talked for like 3 hours. The session we didn't even make any music. It was just 3 hours of just talking about
heart to heart.
Yeah, just heart to heart. It was like therapy. And I was joking around. He said, "It really is like making music as an artist. It should feel like that."
Yeah.
And that kind of changed my perspective when it came to writing music.
Yeah.
And so we talked about past relationships. We talked about, friendships that fell apart, and a lot of different experiences. And then we started writing. We started writing, and we came up with "Hurt Me Too."
Yeah. It's cool that it felt like a safe space, to do all of that, which must be a very different process from, you making something fun.
Yeah.
Going into fantasy instead of going outside instead of going in.
Yes. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and I made some really good stuff out there. But I really kept that mentality when I came back, and I think you'll notice the difference in the writing with these next songs that are coming out.
Amazing. All right. So aside from Seth Reger, you've been collaborating with international artists the past years. You have your BI, the Korean star, GOT7's JB. You also had Taiwanese-American rapper OZ, that collaboration. So what's the experience like in collaborating with somebody from, another part of the world?
It's, at first I didn't know what to expect, because, these are two different cultures. Like Philippines and Singapore, like what's the relation, especially when you're going to collaborate with an artist, or Philippines and Korea. But surprisingly, it was really fun working with all of those artists, and super easy. I think music naturally transcends culture. So, that's definitely the way that we were able to connect. Like sometimes you don't even understand the language, but you get what they're saying, or you feel what they're trying to say, and you feel it in the music. But it's fun. I got to travel a lot, and kind of work with different artists. It's very interesting working with the Korean, with these K-pop artists. Their fans are different.
Yeah, I would say that.
The support and the fan service is on another level.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I do know of like they have like messaging apps to like.
Yeah.
You really feel like you're connected with them, which is a whole other level. Yeah. Okay, so going back to your recent release, Hurt Me Too, the song sonically sounds different from your previous releases. It's super stripped down, just a piano and your voice and the lyrics, definitely. So what pushed you to explore this different direction in terms of your music releases?
Yeah, it's super far. I mean, the last song I released was Jacuzzi.
Yes.
And that's like full on.
Exactly.
It's a full on like pop R&B, like house dance track. And I realized it was a big jump. But for me, I'm treating it kind of like a palate cleanser.
Oh, yeah.
I like that it's kind of, shocking people. I'm like, wow, this is totally different. Because I want to make that very clear for this year and with this next project. That I really want to focus on me as a songwriter. So pull everything away and just the essence of me as an artist. I think people see me as a lot of different things, like artista, one half of a love team, an actor. I'm this TV character. I'm also this movie character. I'm also a businessman. Careless music. So there's a lot of different labels and stuff that come with me. So I wanted to strip everything back. And even with the music video, I'm not sure if you've seen the music video for Hurt Me Too. Very simple, very straightforward. Yeah. I mean, wanted to focus on the emotion more than anything. So simple, but then very impactful.
Yeah, you really keep your fans on their toes, for sure.
Yeah.
We never know what to expect, which is cool. And yeah, you mentioned the video, and I think it's almost literal, we see the first scene is like you standing there with a bunch of cameras, maybe the usual visual that people see of you, and then it like just cuts into what you're maybe feeling on the inside, which is cool.
Yeah, I think that for the music video, what I wanted to kind of show is what it's like inside my head. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, after being in show business so long, I learned to really numb myself and kind of not want to talk about things and keep a straight face even though I'm having a really rough day. There's that kind of pressure to be like perfect in front of the camera. So I think that's what I wanted to show. Like, I'm human too, and that the music video is kind of, once I go off the camera and I'm behind closed doors, this is really what's going inside my head. This is really what I feel, that I feel like I haven't been able to show. And this is me being more comfortable with all of this, and me comfortable with being more vulnerable, being comfortable with really sharing how I feel with my audience and my fans. And I want my music to be a way that they can really connect to me and get to know the real me.
Right, yeah. So in the video, it's quite emotional, as you mentioned, and there were tears that were shed.
Tears were shed.
Yes, very pulled at your heart. So I have to ask, is acting back in the pipeline for you sometime soon?
Yes, it is. I've said this in all my interviews. Like, everyone always asks me, "Also, you're quitting acting." I've never said that I was going to quit it. That I was always going to come back to acting. And I just wanted to see this music career through first because I felt like it was taking me somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I did learn a lot about myself along the way, so I'm glad I did.
Right.
But there are some projects in the pipeline. One that I might be co-producing. I really don't want to give too much information about it in case things change.
Of course,
but, no script yet. We're still in the concept phase, but hopefully within the year, I can already start shooting.
Yeah. Producer, another hat to wear. You're a multi-hyphenate for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this song is actually also your first release under Sony Music Entertainment. Mm-hmm. And people know that you have established your own independent music label, which is Careless. So that may surprise other people, or they're not quite clear on how that works. So yes. I want to ask, what drove you to take the leap, and what's your expectations now that you're under a label that's not your own, you know, especially in terms of creative control and decisions?
Okay. I think to be able to explain how the relationship works with Sony and why I love it so much, I think I've tried almost every type of setup, the full spectrum. I used to work for a major company where I have no say in the music or the output or anything really, and it's very formulaic. I've tried that before, and I left all of that and I tried being completely independent where I have full control but no support and a very small team that I work with. So I've tried the two extremes of that, and there's the benefits and the pros and cons of both. So in recent years, I've been distributing through my independent label, completely independent. It's just us. We've been distributing through the Orchard, which is like a sub-label of Sony. So it was a very natural transition working with Sony when I pitched to them this track, Hurt Me Too, and my vision for where I want to go this year. So they were very supportive of the vision, and we currently have like a collaboration where we have a licensing deal for all of my music. So I have a very healthy balance of the support from Sony, the creative control where Careless can come in and really collaborate. And it's great. It's really the best of both worlds, I think.
Great. All right. So Sony Music Entertainment has a very big roster of artists. So as someone who's been active in collaborations, is there any Sony artist in particular that you'd like to collaborate with or work with in the future?
Off the top of my head, Denise Julia.
Right.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah.
What's this Sony? Mackie? But isn't Orchard also Sony? It's all one big family, yeah.
But Denise Julia would be super fun.
Yeah, no, I think so, definitely. My background's also like super in R&B.
Yeah, R&B.
Yeah.
Ooh, to see Denise in like a more emotional thing with you. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Throwing that out into the universe right now.
Yeah, I'm throwing that out right now.
Yeah.
Denise, let's go.
Okay. So everybody knows that your career has involved acting and singing. So you've been moving in these landscapes for quite a while now. I want to ask, what's the most notable difference you've seen in terms of the showbiz landscape and also the music landscape as you've been going through it?
Sorry, as I've been...
So you've been moving in like the acting landscape and
yes.
also in the music landscape. And you've been there for quite a while, over a decade.
Yes,
yeah,
that time.
Right? So I want to ask, what's the most like notable shift or difference you've noticed in those worlds?
I think the biggest shift I've noticed is I noticed recently like a lot of independent, actually in the last like 5-6 years, a lot of independent groups coming up, independent labels, independent artists. And then the way that major companies, and this is not just with music, but the way that major companies are starting to give them more freedom to kind of take point on their vision and their direction, which is really awesome. I think things are starting to balance out. You know, I think the collaboration that I have with Sony is proof of that.
Yeah.
And it's great to see so many, different like artist management groups popping up.
Yeah.
Different sub-labels and different indie acts popping up. It's really good for the industry, I think, and in moving forward and diversifying and pushing Filipino culture forward.
Absolutely. I do notice when you look at the OPM charts right now, the genres are so diverse.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah, one song is like straight up a full band setup, another one is like a kembot R&B banger, you know?
Yeah.
So really exciting times. So For my last question, I just want to bring it all the way back to your first years, in the business, entering Pinoy Big Brother. So PBB is opening up again, and
Still going?
yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you were the big winner 14 years ago. Can you
Yes, I
believe?
was.
Yeah. So I just want to ask, what is your advice to those who are aspiring to pursue a career in showbiz?
Going into PBB felt like I went to a house, then I got transported to a different dimension where I was suddenly really famous. That's how it felt for me. Coming like this shy kid, nobody from Sydney, Australia, and then coming to the Philippines. That transition was so crazy. I think anyone going through that experience, I think you just need to not think so much about, the fame and what people are trying to make you do and everything. I think really just stick to who you believe you are. That's what helped me going through this whole process, going through that reality TV show, then going into acting, and then going into TV series for so long, and then doing music and everything. I like to think I had a very strong sense of identity, which helped me stay on the right track. And even when things feel like they're going wrong, I always felt successful because I stuck to the things that I believed in, and I stuck to doing it the right way, or working with people the right way, or, So, yeah, don't think too much about the fame. Don't think too much about the noise.
Yeah.
Just stick to who you believe you are.
Yeah. Well, if there's anyone to take notes from when it comes to following your heart in the industry, it has to be you, So that's it.
Try. I try.
Yeah. All right. So that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for...
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
Have
so
fun.
much for... Thank you. Me too. Yeah. Thanks for all the time that you gave with us today. If you've heard the single Hurt Me Too by James Reid, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do share them in the pop culture chat room of the Rappler Communities app. You can download the app on your mobile by scanning the QR codes below. Again, I'm Giselle Barrientos. This has been Rappler Talk Entertainment with James Reid. Thank you for watching.